took it personally when my fiancée, we were playing Settlers, 4 players, and we were building everything up and anyway, we were building our ways through the game, and suddenly she made like a really weird decision, I thought, by building a road which cut my line off from each other, so I couldn't connect them. And that for me, that I didn't see any reason for her doing so, but except for obliterating my chances to get more points. Because effectively that was what she did. She left me with no chance of even coming close to other people's points. Effectively, with just building that small road. And that hurt. And I was thinking, she probably didn't do that to hurt me. But why the hell else would she do that? Because there was no reason. And then I found out that she had to build that road because she had to connect her things all over the map so that she couldn't win. So sometimes it spills over to the real world, and it's a fine line. And sometimes you wonder, can we keep them separate? The game and the normal game. And then of course that comes down to the group dynamics. To play a game, how far can the group evolve playing a game? I think it was Jane McGonigal who said that it's a really entering the magic circle of playing a game with someone at the table is one of the most brave social interactions you can do, because you put into the contract that, okay, we will sit here, we will play this game, there's a beginning and an end, and things will happen to us psychologically, where we go from, first of all, not knowing, possibly not knowing the other people, and then watching them at a very personal level of how they interact with something, albeit it's not real. So it becomes sort of a simulation of how that person thinks, and that can be a really personal experience. So, so for a group, for instance, there are just playing a game will probably break the ice for most people, and you will find you will find the persons that you're playing with. You will find their inner selves open for exploits. No, but you will see a glimpse of who they are just by playing the game, more so than just standing and talking to them. Yes, this will work out fine. I put off the alarm for this room and the main building, so this shouldn't affect us.
You sure?
I hope. That should be a few of the other rooms. Where the alarm goes off. So yeah, so group dynamics, learning who a person is and who they are not. So different types of players and playing styles. We have, of course, how do we play the game? And a lot of the things that my examples are taken from the computer gaming world. We have things like the camper or the tank in several games, or builders and warriors in real-time strategy games. You can find the same examples playing a lot of board games, although builder or warrior are more usual than perhaps tank and camper. But the references are still there. Yeah, that was probably, let's find a big chunk of text, and I said 2 lines and fills the entire, yeah. All right, So I have a few friends who play, and usually I think of them having, when I think about them, and you will probably agree with me, sometimes you have friends that you play games with, and thinking about a game and learning how the game works, you can relate to, how would this person play this game? Or actually, playing the game at least, you will see that person not evolve, but you will recognize their patterns instinctively when they go mad because you subconsciously exploit openings in their defense because you played games with them before. And you can really trigger with just small social means and the way they play to really trigger emotions. Interesting. One of the best examples of this would be a person that's not here when I play against him. Because sometimes all I need is to say a word and try to make an action in a game where I play against him, and he can really, he can not blow up, but he'll get infuriated and sometimes a bit mad, funny mad. I mean, not aggressively mad that he's gonna kill me or hit me, but he'll go mad at himself for not seeing it or not defending against my moves. And most of the time, he'll say, "That's just dumb luck. That's just luck. It's just a die roll." And yes, it's just a die roll. But I can trigger his emotions by finding, but just look at, okay, he will try to do this because he knows that he wants a quick victory and he wants to show off. And I can exploit that, lure him into a trap, and just, I don't have to win, I just have to make the point. And that's a social, yeah, but it is. And that comes, I mean, that's a group dynamic thing between him and me where I've found his weak spot by having played against him a few times. And it's so obvious and still so funny. And it's fun to play because we work with that dynamic. Most of our games, when we battle it out, are not based necessarily in the game. We both know the game, we both play the game, but that's lifting into the level of meta thinking where most of my friends also go when they play chess or several other games where you lift it above the game a bit and try to, well, that's the tactical part, where you try to outmaneuver the player and not and read him and not read the game, where you know the game enough to actually lift it a level. Yes?
With chess, it is proof that the analytical, I mean, if you get more involved in the game in an analytical way, your level goes up, because there is a very different between the players who really don't involve analytical, is like something kind of strategy, and the players that really got involved.
Oh yeah. So the involvement of the player, the more involved the more his level of expertise raises, so he gets better by just being more involved, right?
But I mean, when I'm talking about analytical involvement, I mean, if you feel stress when you're playing, I mean, also between chess you have the tactical and the long-term strategy kind of games, all of that kind of thing. So if you feel this stress when you're playing, that I mean, the position is not, you're not happy with the position, everything, you feel it, it makes you play better.
So the physiological effects of, for instance, stress in a situation where you play chess where you feel threatened will actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel threatened, if you don't feel anything.
Yeah. So the involvement of stress but that's really interesting because I mean a lot of the time we say that okay, stress in most situations where you play a game would be, well, board games at least. I think computer games where you use hand-eye coordination will be improved. by stress because it releases a few chemicals in your body, adrenaline and such. But other games, you will start to not think clearly with stress, and it's really interesting because seeing that the stress level will enhance your way of playing because you actually think with the game if you're involved and you experience enough. So I gotta look into that. Yes.
One thing. Stress involvement is sort of works better with instinctive gameplay, where every second counts. Sort of FPS shooters, games, online gaming. Stress doesn't work so well with when you have to think on another level. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do 3 turns from now? As you say, if you start stress, you lose focus because you become stressed. You become disoriented. But if you have an instinctive gameplay, a fast game, or when you just have to do split-second decisions, then stress and the adrenaline will help you do that, so you can further your gameplay to another level to beat the opposition.
It needs to be stressful, so you become confused and so on. It needs to be the right level of stress.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing as I say when taking the driver's license. A healthy level of stress is better than being totally calm or pacified. Pacified would be so.
I see this, I can relate to that because I play a lot of times with people that are not gamers in the sense that they go to comments and game a lot in that regard. And I see the same, the stress is also related to your experience as a gamer.
Yeah.
Even if you have played a lot of times, and that's also connected to your levels of involvement. Even if you have played a lot of times a game, if you're not anyway enough involved, you get more easily stressed when it goes badly, and then those emotions arise. I've seen it several times. So I've played with people who have very different types of gaming in that regard, that aren't necessarily gamers, but we play several times a month anyway. So you get some people really like it so much so that they really try to understand the game and go further. Some don't. They like to play it, but when it goes bad, they get mad.
It's also a valid tactic against your opponents. You try to outstress them so they do the wrong decisions.
Maybe not in a social situation with family and with close friends, but sometimes. But in a combat, why not? If you know the people enough, then it's a good way to try to win if you want to win.
Yes.
Why not?
Well, that's the point of having a timed chess events, that you actually use the clock to make the other player feel stress, so that you are sure enough of your tactics to just play, while another person has to think. A fast move will, having more time than the other player will stress them to spend more time. So it's of course a valid tactic. But it's really interesting that the healthy level of stress should be taken into consideration when playing games and playing against people, and having enough, spending a bit of time considering who you're playing with, and if it's time or not to stress them or not to stress them. When we were playing Puerto Rico here, for instance, we know that I realized that it might have been stressful for one of the players that we took such a long time deciding what to do, since he felt that, I have to go, and we could, maybe I should just pull this out a bit. It was funny. But, I thought so. He's not here, he can defend himself.